Should I buy Space Engineers 2 as it releases into early access through Steam on January 27th? Or should I wait a bit? I'm TheSurvivalBob, and we're going to dive into this right now. The answer, of course, depends on what you're looking to get out of your purchase. If you want to jump in at the beginning of early access and ride the development wave of this game from the beginning, then sure, go for it. If you love building in creative mode, then you should absolutely pick it up. Or maybe you just want to support Keen as they develop Space Engineers 2 because you got so much joy from the original. Then, by all means, buy the early access. And I tell you what, they even have a Pioneer Edition bundle you may want to look at that includes the music and support them even further. Honestly, I'll probably end up with this version myself as a content creator. If you want to give it to me free, Keen, that's cool too. I'm sure there's even more reasons, and if you've pre-ordered it already, please let me know your reasons in the comments down below. Now, if you love the original Space Engineers and you think Space Engineers 2 is more of the same and just looks better with a better building system, you're going to be sorely disappointed on January 27th if you pre-ordered this game. The vision is that it will be there at some point, but that's not what is coming to early access right now. Currently, Space Engineers 2 is not a survival game. It is purely a creative experience with many blocks that you may rely on for your unique builds like pistons and rotors either not available yet or set as models that don't do anything, like refineries and assemblers. They're not going to do anything yet, they're just going to be pretty blocks. Which is fine, but I think more people need to be aware of this. At launch, you will not be able to upload blueprints to share with your friends. Now, this is coming, and one of the first things they're working on, but it's going to be a couple weeks to more before we see them implementing the Steam Workshop. So you're going to have that, but you're not going to have it when you start off, and it could be a while. And this is the one I think that people need to hear the most. Space Engineers 2 is not multiplayer in any way, and likely will be that way for close to a year or more. Now, as a solo player, I'm kind of okay with that. I think I can play with it and have fun with it solo, but multiplayer is the way the vast majority of people enjoy this game. And I gotta say, I love playing multiplayer as well. I just don't have a lot of friends, I guess. I don't know. Now, Keen has said that it will be multiplayer, but that is lower down on their roadmap at what they're calling Vertical Slice 4. That's after they add planets in Slice 2 and water in Slice 3, which could be over a year from now. Now, I don't want to get sidetracked about what I just said, but I want you to hear me when I say that there's not going to be any planets to explore either. But they are going to add water. That's pretty sweet. They are adding water physics, which they've talked about a lot in the past with their V-Rage 3 engine, which they're supremely proud of, and I think that's one of the reasons they're pushing it out, because they want to show it off and get us to help them test it. But that's the problem. Myself, as well as many of you, may get excited about what is to come, so much so that we forget that it's a ways off, potentially a year or more. Water sounds amazing, but it's also complicated, and multiplayer is not going to be added until water is fine-tuned and finalized as it currently stands. So you're not playing with your buddies anytime soon, which is why Keen have said they're not getting rid of the original Space Engineers, with 30 members of their team still working on the original Space Engineers and 70 of them working on Space Engineers 2. So we are going to be able to play Space Engineers with our friends, just not Space Engineers 2. And I guess this is coming off as a warning not to let your excitement over the future cloud the reality of what is available right now. I'm afraid that by showing the hype videos prior to the announcement in December and still throwing in clips of them showing off multiplayer in later videos, even this last week, without anything on the screen saying this isn't indicative of what you will experience anytime soon, Keen may be setting themselves up for some unrealistic and thus unmet expectations. While technically Keen has told us all this, it says it on the Steam page, and they've also provided a roadmap with only the launch date in writing. They still continue to show clips of multiplayer on screen while telling us it's not going to be multiplayer. I get it, they're just using the trailer in the background, but you have to understand what it looks like to us. That's like a reporter standing in a store saying they are out of PlayStations, but showing B-roll footage of shelves stocked with PlayStations right behind them. And maybe that's what my biggest problem is, that I feel like they're letting the excitement of everything that they've been working on to come bleed over into what's available right now. And that's what led them to the roadmap. They've told us that they were working on all of the sections at the same time, and they weren't progressing as fast as they wanted, so what they decided to do was to split it up into slices. So while they've worked on multiplayer, they've worked on the water, they've worked on the planets, none of this is available right now, and they've set it down, put it to the side so that they can focus on the first slice, which is getting the V-Rage 3 engine out there for us to test. They want to get creative mode out in Slice 1, they want to get the game connected to the Steam Workshop, and they want to add modding support so the modding community can get into it and help them along with the development, in my opinion. In Slice 2, which they've set aside and don't have a date on quite yet, they're adding planets and survival. So I'll be excited about it at that point because I'm excited about survival, hence the name SurvivalBob, right? Another slice is Slice 3, which is planetary scale volumetric water. It looks amazing and it sounds even better. I cannot wait for this. But this is slice number 3 with no date by it, and we don't know when that is. It doesn't even say slice number 4. I called it slice 4, but if you look on their webpage, it just says ... and more. Multiplayer NPCs story campaign. So these are all things that they want to do, but they showed all of this in the hype trailer. They showed multiplayer. It could be NPCs or it could be other players. You don't know, but there's a bunch of people walking around. They definitely show the story campaign by talking about Omegast and talking about the story in the trailer of how they got there and what they're doing now. But that is not coming anytime soon. And that's my fear, is that people see these things over and over again and they don't realize that what they're buying is creative mode, which honestly I don't play in. I'm excited because I am going to play in this creative mode because as a content creator, I want to get into this and see what it's about, and I want to force myself to learn more and get better at taking my time in creative and building things. So I am going to jump into that, but I don't know that there's going to be a lot of content there because, again, that's not my specialty. The 2 videos with the highest views are the Concordia Research Facility for Space Engineers 2 with 174,000 views done in December, and the Space Engineers 2 official teaser trailers, which is a mouthful, but those videos have 174 and 195,000 views respectively. Now, to Keen's credit, they did a video with 25 minutes of actual gameplay, which I think is amazing and it answers a lot of questions. However, they continue to put more videos out that shows multiplayer, and I'm just worried about that because there's a lot of people who aren't going to watch a 25-minute long YouTube video, but they'll watch for 30 seconds or a minute, and they'll catch multiple people running around on the screen. Editor's note, as I'm putting the final touches on this video, it seems that Keen is thinking the same thing I am because they put out a multiplayer and console discussion for Space Engineers 2 about 3 hours ago. And yeah, it's got 3,300 views right now. So unless you are subscribed to the channel and paying attention to everything that comes out, in that case you already know, you're not going to see this video. It's not going to be one that YouTube's going to share because it's just not that kind of video. So I'm putting it out there now. I think that the amount of people who think it's going to be multiplayer is going to be more than people expect. I hope I'm wrong on that. So if you are expecting that and I did burst your bubble or tell you something that you didn't know was coming, then I want you to be aware of that and understand that you still got the opportunity to support this game through its development, but that you're not going to have it right now. So I hope you will continue to support it. I hope you won't let it negatively impact your review of the game on Steam, because the people who bought this in early access, the people who are supporting it, the people who are paying attention to it, we all want the vision that they're talking about. We want to see it come to fruition, and the more support we can give them, the better. However, temper your expectations. We're not going to be running around in survival mode with our buddies anytime soon. But we are going to have this awesome unified grid system, which I am really looking forward to. And we are going to get to go on the journey of the development of this game. I just want people to understand that this journey is going to take a little bit longer than they may be expecting. While there's a lot of people in the community who are like, take your time, Keen, I've seen the comments on the videos, but early access means a lot of things to a lot of different people. So if you're in the camp of loving this game and you think they should take as long as they need to develop it, make sure you leave a good review of the game to offset any negative reviews that may come about from people who are getting something that they weren't expecting, whether they should have known better or not. Guys, I'm SurvivalBob. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. And if you want to see more Space Engineers content, I've got more on my channel coming soon. Please like, subscribe, all that jazz. And let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember, if you're going to be a Bob, have fun with it.